undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, show made for the fans by a fan. I'm your host, as always, Richard Tiemann. This is the award-winning Fan Show. Everyone's a fan of something. We have something for every fan, including you football fans out there. I know that you're out there in droves. It's the majority of the good people of Fan Nation. We are on location for another event special, I guess would be the appropriate term or naming of these segments. We've got several player interviews from the AFE. That's the American Football Events All-American Bowl, Team USA's best of the best, and that is happening this weekend. I caught up with several of the players this evening, doing interviews all week long, just like I did with CGS, the College Gridiron Showcase, all leading up to the big event, which is, of course, the game where they will play against each other. It's Team USA divided up into two groups, two teams, national versus American. And so joining me on this first portion is Kenny Phillips, Isaiah Hedgepeth, and Rodney Beasley, three great gentlemen that they were just fun to talk to. Really, they were. And I've had a lot of fun with these interviews. And so without further ado, any more delay, let's go ahead and meet the first three players this evening. First up, Kenny Phillips. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here from the beautiful Founders Inn in Virginia Beach, and we have American football events on the brain. We got an event coming up, the All-American Bowl, Team USA, the best of the best, and I'm joined by one of the best, which is Kenny Phillips, quarterback. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and you know, this has been a real treat for me to be across the country covering football, and I know for you guys, though, this is kind of more than just a getaway. It's an opportunity, right?
Yeah, I view this as a business trip.
Business trip?
You know, it was definitely a long ride coming from Vermont, 14-hour drive.
Oh, wow.
But in the back of my mind, it's community events. Yes, it's meet a bunch of guys, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of business.
Which for you guys, one, is obviously you want to win. And two, though, I mean, do you have any expectations as far as who you want to see you out there or what you hope to accomplish this weekend?
I mean, obviously, being the quarterback of the American team, as much as we're all under the same AFE Team USA, my job is to go out there and compete and try to get a win. And I just want to see all my guys show up on both sides of the ball, come ready to go, leave it all out in the field, and whatever happens, happens.
I've always said great competition breeds more great competition. And for you guys to be called the best of the best, you feel like you're going to see great competition out there come Saturday.
Oh, yeah, iron sharpens iron, definitely. Like I said, these are the best of the best. These are the best guys from their states. So there's no questions of if this guy should be out there or not, because if you shouldn't be out there, you wouldn't be here.
That is very true. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How many events of AFE is this? Is this your first one, or?
This is my second event. I actually got to play in the last event in Vegas thanks to my brother, De'Eric O'Neal, who's plays back home on the Vermont Ravens. He's actually the tailback on the national team. So it's going to be weird. After spending seasons playing next to him, I got to play against him.
Oh, wow.
But he gave me the opportunity in Vegas. He vouched for me, and obviously I put in enough work to be invited back.
Hey, I mean, that's half the battle, right? I mean, a lot of times if you put in the work, you know, if you believe in the product you're putting out there, you can accomplish great things, and it's a great feeling to know that your work and your talent's being noticed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a coach back home, I actually had the opportunity to share my experience playing with AFE Team USA with my high school lacrosse team that I coached, and I pretty much told them that even though you may not get the opportunity right out of high school, don't stop grinding because there's always an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's never the end of the road until I guess it's the end of the road, which, you know, only as between you and Mother Nature, you and God, you and Father Time, whoever it is. But that's how you got to look at it. There's always opportunities out there. So how long have you been playing ball for?
I've been playing ball since I was 4, and I'll be 25 this year. So, was that 21 years?
Yeah.
So I got a lot of miles on me on the football field.
You got football miles on you. When it comes to AFE in this event and the All-American Bowl, this is the first time that you guys are going to be competing against each other, which you already said is kind of a challenge in itself. But a lot of the guys have said that their motivations as far as how they compete against the other side of that ball is a little different than normal, because normally it's you guys and you're like, yeah, we'll take on all comers, who's next? Well, now it's you guys that's next, it's guys that you practice with, that you played with. What motivates you to get out there and compete, knowing that the guy across from you, you've practiced with, you've played with, he's trying to do the same thing?
Just knowing that the guy across from me that, like you said, we've played with in past events, is going to give me his best, because we're all playing for the next opportunity. And you have to perform on the field like it's your last play, because you never know when that's going to come.
And how do you feel as far as your career up to this point? Do you have any regrets? Are you a guy that regrets at all?
If I had to say I had one regret, it would be not playing college football. When I had the opportunity, I chose academics over athletics. And it took me in the route to play college lacrosse 4 years. But college lacrosse was easy because I just played college lacrosse with my football mindset. But like I said, if I had one regret, it would be not playing college football.
And what do you feel like you missed out on college football? Is it the brotherhood or just another level of competition?
Another level of competition. The exposure. Essentially, I feel like if I would have taken the college football route, my opportunity for situations like this would have come earlier. Maybe I'd have got my first opportunity at 21 when I graduated college instead of 24 going on 25. So, yeah, was that 3-year difference, 4-year difference, but a lot can happen in those 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to personal life and what you hope to kind of give back as far as family, friends, the next generation, looking at what you've been able to do, especially through AFE, what's the one thing you would want to give back the most?
Just time.
Time?
I'd love to just give back all I can, spend all the time with whoever it may be that comes across my path, and just share my experiences both on the field, off the field, my mistakes that I've made on the field, off the field, how they've helped me, how they've hurt me. And just like I said, just the presence of being surrounded by people and having the opportunity to be looked upon as a role model, as a leader.
What's the one thing you've learned that football has taught you?
Discipline.
Discipline?
Definitely discipline. Growing up with a dad who was in the military for 14 years, it was all about discipline. And that's one thing I learned from the beginning was you could have the greatest athletes in the world, you could have the greatest playbook, you could have the worst team in the world. If they're disciplined and willing to follow what is given to them and go out there and execute, the pieces will fall in place.
Coach G seemed a little harsh on you guys today. I don't know if that's just like day one practice or shaking the cobwebs or what, but as somebody who says that the biggest thing you've learned from football is discipline, do you feel that was well deserved, or is that just coach being coach?
Oh, it was definitely well deserved, because like a couple guys on the national team said they had a great practice. On the American side, our practice wasn't really where it should have been, and we didn't bring the intensity to the table. And when it comes to being disciplined, if you make mistakes, you got to make mistakes full speed.
Yeah, make big mistakes.
Because the worst thing you could do is make a mistake, not going full speed, because that's when it'll cost you.
Yeah.
And he was right. If you guys don't come ready, if we don't come ready to ball, then it could lead to guys getting hurt. It could lead to mistakes being made. It could lead to big plays. And like he said, we all getting evaluated, so they see that kind of stuff. So coming out being disciplined is definitely something that he meant, and he was definitely right by it.
Well, you got another practice and then the game, so you feel like with another go-round of what you guys went through today, getting the mind right, making sure that you're well-rested, that you're going to be able to go out there and put your best foot forward.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he said it last night in our meeting. 90% of everything you do on the field is mental. It's all about mental toughness. 10% of it's playing. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
Easy part's playing. Like, you can ask any of the players, they'll all agree that easy part is playing. But if you're not mentally there, then the pieces aren't going to fall in place, and bad results happen.
Well, he is Kenny Phillips, quarterback, and I look forward to seeing you out there on the field Saturday, man. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we've got Isaiah Hedgepeth with us, and it's AFE. We had practice today, a community event. You guys are going to have another team-building activity tonight. How you feeling after today, everything?
Kind of sore.
Kind of sore?
Kind of sore.
What brings you to AFE? Like, how many events will Saturday be for you?
Saturday will make my 4th event.
Yeah, I thought you were a vet, and some of the guys talked about different players. Your name has come up, so I knew that you had to. This wasn't your first rodeo, obviously. Though, having done it a few times, though, what makes this so special to you that you keep coming back?
What makes it so special to me is the brotherhood, and to be able to give back to the kids in the community, the elders. Like when we went to Myrtle Beach, we had ice cream with the elderly, and that really brought joy to my heart because my grandmother passed away early that year, so I really didn't have her around. But to be able to give back to the elder really makes me warm inside. And to go to the crit when we was in Cancun, also I got a special needs nephew, and that right there just set the tone for me. And every time an event comes up, I try my best to be the first person to apply for it. So,
fair enough, man. It's good to hear you guys so excited about the stuff that isn't just football.
No, this is bigger than football.
Bigger than football. I love that quote right there. For you, what is football giving you that you would find yourself having a hard time giving back to football? Like, what has it done in your life that's been so monumental that it's almost like I can never reciprocate that?
To just be able to go to different states, different countries, see different things, you can't do that in semi-pro. But to be able to travel with AFE and to see all these different people, to meet new people, including the rookies. So, no, he's one of the vets. So, to meet the rookies, to bring them into the brotherhood, like I said before, it's bigger than football. And to be able to just give back is the number one priority for me. Yeah, it's a football game, but I like to give back. So,
what's life after football look like for you? Have you given it any thought?
Oh, man. Hopefully, well, as my wife would say, I have till 35.
She's giving you an age out here, huh?
Yeah, she said I have to 35 to hang it up. So right now I'm trying to give it my all. So I'm 29, I'll be 30 this year. So after this, I have to keep going because 35 is coming quick.
I can see that. And it seems like a lot of you guys really fall into the mesh of it. There's no other way of life that you know than football. And so for you to give back, you could coach, you could mentor boys and girls clubs, even personal trainers. I mean, there's several different avenues that branch off from what AFE is. What do you see yourself doing if you're not playing football?
I see myself coaching. Like, I have a 12-year-old son that wants to play football. So right now I'm pushing him to be better than me. Not like his favorite NFL player, not like his favorite high school player or college player. I want him to be his own player. I want him to be better than me. So for me to, be able to push him, I feel like I can install that into other kids as well. So I think I would rather coach than, try to keep playing.
A classic, don't try to be the next me or the next him. Be the first you.
Exactly.
And that's good, man. I really like that. When it comes to being a coach, and you look at a coach like Coach G, do you see yourself being like that at all? Because he's a military background, and he's a legend.
He's a legend. I won't say I will see myself being like him, but I will study his game. So when it's my time, I can look back and say, okay, my coach taught me this, so let me install it into them.
More yelling.
Yeah.
You guys line up against each other this weekend. A very unique situation. The first time that you guys have played yourselves, literally. And what's the mental prep like? Because I've talked to a few guys about it. Every answer's been different. You're not studying film. I mean, I'm sure there is film on you guys, but you're playing maybe your roommate. Maybe
my next door neighbor.
Your next door neighbor, a guy that you grew up with. You're playing a guy that you had breakfast with this morning, probably have dinner with tonight. But come game time, that's on the side. That's it. We're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna play football.
Well, my pregame is I like to listen to music, and then that drains everything out and just get me focused. Yeah, we're brothers, but if you're on the other sideline, then I'm sorry. I mean, but it feels special to actually be a part of something like this and to able to show these new rookies how it's really done. As a vet myself, and I know you probably heard it from other vets, it's their chance. It's their time. It's time for them to show us, okay, when we're done, y'all the next legacy. So it's up to y'all. And veteran Frankie Littlejohn installed that in me. Rodney Beasley installed that in me. I'm just glad that I'm still able to be playing this game.
Who's the one player on this team that if they weren't here, it would be hard for you to keep coming back? Who's your glue, so to speak, in this organization?
Who's my glue? It's a lot of them. Like I said before, it's a brotherhood. I can't single out just one person. Like I said, Rodney Beasley, Brandon Lonick, he's, my brother. Corey Cuffey, Shy Harris, Frankie Littlejohn. That's my mentor. So he installed everything into me. And then the crackback king himself. So I wish he could come out of retirement and play one more game with me. So it's a lot of players, a lot of brothers that, that are more like brothers than just, the guy I played with, my teammate. Like, this is a big family. And this is all that I got after football. I have brothers that I can call on, coaches that I can call, coaches that I can inbox. If I'm just down and out, I just hit my coaches up like, hey, coach, I need to talk to somebody. And they're right there for me.
When it comes to your deadline that the wife gave you, what are you hoping to do between now and then? Like, have you played arena ball, indoor ball, anything other than semi-pro and AFE?
I tried out for some arena teams. It came up short. As everybody says, it's my height. So, so I came up short, and actually had some coaches, install some pretty good words like never give up, keep training, you'll be here next year, or you'll be the next in line. And that is just pushing me for greatness. So with that, I'm going to keep trying until somebody signs me.
That's fair enough, man. I think you got a good window there. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys that, not breaking the mold, but they're definitely throwing out some stereotypes. And I've never been one to think, this guy's got to be a certain height or weight in order to succeed in football. When it comes to this weekend, once it's all said and done, win or lose, what do you hope this weekend does for you as far as accomplishing your personal goals?
That if we lose to the Americans, I doubt it. But my personal goals is to just play ball and have fun with my brothers. I always come to AFE with open arms, and they always open their arms back. So
always learn something new.
Yeah. So it's a family. and it's fun to be around.
All right, man. Well, hey, I look forward to seeing you being on the call this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your time.
You too.
And we are continuing our interviews from the Founders Inn with the lovely piano music in the background. And by lovely, I mean it's really putting a damper on the fun time we're trying to have here with these interviews. But I got a man full of laughs, full of love. It is Rodney Beasley. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm enjoying the piano music.
You're the one guy that's enjoying the piano music. He's got jokes.
Yeah, you know.
So you, let's see, we met yesterday. It was actually during the meet and greet. Came up to you at the table. You had your son with you.
Yeah.
And so this event, I feel like for you has quite a lot involved with it, as far as maybe some father-son bonding time.
Absolutely.
Hoping that he takes to football, getting out there, being competitive. I mean, that's for me. Tell me, what's this weekend mean?
Well, I pulled him out of school because he knew I was coming, and he kind of was hinting at wanting to come too. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let me get it worked out with your mom, and you can come. And for us, we're, a little bit about me. I'm very family oriented. Mm-hmm. So being prior service and everything, there's nothing more important than family. So he wanted to come and experience this with me. And as being a father and him playing football, it's living vicariously now because he's seeing me actually pass the torch. He's seen me play before, but not with the football knowledge and the love that he has right now at this young age. So I'm just having a blast having him watch and everything, and then we're having conversations about it afterwards, driving back from practice, and he's just full of questions and energy and excitement, and it's contagious. So it's a huge father-son moment for us because I get this time and get to do it with my Team USA family too, and get him to see a different side of it because he's come to games, but he's only watched it before. So this is great to get him to actually be a part of it. He's excited to be the ball boy for the game. So he's excited.
Great. So as a father, you look at this event, you see your son's reaction to it. I mean, I don't have kids myself personally. Wife and I, we want to and working toward it. But when it comes to wanting your kids to have a passion for what you have a passion for, there's never a guarantee.
Correct.
It's like I come from, I played a little bit of football. I wasn't very athletic growing up. I was a tiny kid. I took to music. My dad, though, was the jock of the family. Like, he did state wrestling, football. I mean, he did it all, and he was good at it. And then there's me, tooting around my horn, banging my drums. And so we kind of lost that connection there. But a lot of parents, they will get all in and jump on board with whatever their kid loves. And thankfully for you, you've got a kid that looks like he likes football. But I mean, what else would there be possibly that he's taken an interest in that maybe you didn't growing up?
Well, we do we have a household rule where in our household, which is you have to do something. We don't force any sport on you or anything, but if you're going to be idle, we're going to find something and put you in it. So we don't force their sports on it. Being a trainer, I have the opportunity working with parents who say what you just said. They're trying to force their kid into a sport that maybe the kid doesn't really want to play just because the parents did. So we don't do that with our kids. He's gained his own love and excitement for the game, so we were nurturing that and growing it.
There you go.
Later on, if he chooses to play baseball, then we're going to be the biggest baseball fans for him. We're not going to force him into it. It's just something he has to stay active, and he has to do something. Same for my daughter. She loves football. I have one rule.
Oh boy.
She's all legs, right? She's 13, but she's all legs, and working in sports training, that's an injury waiting to happen. So we're trying to encourage her to play something different, but she's steadfast. She wants to play football. But then she found theater, so she's really loving that. So that's kind of where we're
that's good,
pushing her. But I think, to get back to your original statement, I think the bigger thing is nurturing what they want to do. Don't try to push it, and then that relationship you'll build will be one on a different level for these kids. And I mean, look at him. He's here and he's loving it and enjoying it, having a great time. And it's his own joy, his own passion. I didn't push for him to be here to love football. But now I think he'll find a new passion for it.
Yeah, it's great that you have that mentality. Not many people do. I will tell you that. I always thought growing up, because this is how me and my friends were. It seemed like we were growing up almost the opposite of what our fathers were like. I had a friend who, his father was very what is it, an introvert,
Yeah,
you know, not shy, but just kind of kept to himself, you know, loved his cars. But then his son was out there. He was a drummer. He was friends with everybody, you know, and just total opposites. And then I had another friend who his dad was an athlete who grew up with my dad. Different schools, but he was a wrestler. He was an athlete. He played trumpet, and he got into the outdoors. You know, it's just, you can't predict these things. But I imagine it's quite a moment when you will find your kids, your son, your daughter, sharing in what you love to do.
Yeah. And I really think it's how you approach it at that point, though, whether or not they take it and run with it as their own, or they're like, nah, Dad's been pushing me to do too much. I hate football, or something like that. You know, he likes to skate, too. My son likes to skate. I know nothing about skateboarding. I try to stand on it, and I'm immediately hitting the ground. I'm athletic, but I cannot work that skateboard. But he can, and he jumped on it and caught it right away, which is impressive. But that's something we've been nurturing for him, too. I'm like, you want a skateboard? All right, cool. And he wanted some lessons, so he's working his chores to pay for lessons because I know nothing about skateboards. I can't help him. He's got to find an expert that can. But it's just, again, nurturing what he wants to do instead of trying to push something on him. And I've found major success with that, not only with my own son, but with other athletes I've trained. I talk to the parents, let them pick it, and then get behind them and support it. And then you'll find that they may travel down that avenue that you originally wanted anyway. You just can't force them to do it.
And one piece of advice for you or really anybody on that topic, and not speaking from a father but as a son, don't ever call what they do a thing.
Correct.
Like, don't ever be like, well, you know, that's their thing. I have a friend of mine who's a coach. He did track, he did football, he runs College Gridiron Showcase, and his two twin sons, violin players. And he's never said, yeah, they've got this violin thing going. He's like, oh, they've got state solo and ensemble coming up. Like, he knows about what they're interested in. And that's like the biggest thing that you can do for your kids, probably, to keep that connection going.
Agree completely.
So, speaking of connection, we've got AFE, which is this great organization that you're a part of. We're going to have ourselves a glorified scrimmage, but really it is a game. You know, you guys.
It's a game.
Oh yeah, it's a game. You guys are going to play each other Saturday. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a sore loser.
Absolutely.
And you guys don't get to go your own separate ways. You got to come right back here. One of the questions I've been asking the guys is, what kind of mental prep do you do going into a situation like this where you're not playing against a complete stranger? It's a guy that you're out there, you know, hanging out in the pool with. You had breakfast with him this morning. You guys practice together. You know, probably share laughs together. But then game time, it's like, you're my opponent.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love these guys, don't get me wrong, I do. And I have this mentality off the field. We can be friends and hang out, but if you're across the field from me, you're in direct, you know, competition with me. I'm a very competitive guy on the field. So I'm going to compete and play to my highest standard, and there's going to be some junk talking. It'll be friendly banter, but it'll be there. But mental prep, I prepared for it like I would do any other team. Eventually, they're going to be on the other side. And it's really just a battle of skills at that point because we know each other's offense. We know each other's ticks and what we do. I like going against Barfield. Barfield's been on the team as long as I have, and we know each other. We go against each other when we're scrimmaging before a game in, say, Cancun or or anywhere, you know, Myrtle Beach, any of those. We scrimmage against each other, so he knows all my tricks of the trade. So it's going to be interesting. He's on the other team, so when I line up against him, you know, on Saturday, he's going to know some of my tricks. So I got to bring some new stuff, but I like the challenge because he knows what I'm going to do. So it challenges me to do something new or become better at what I've already done. And I think you'll find most of the guys are the same way. We're invited or we're encouraging the competition amongst ourselves. There's going to be some bragging rights. There's going to be, when we win, there's going to be shirts made. There's going to be all kinds of things. Just rest assured, it's coming. Especially since Coach G is on the other side, and I think they had first draft pick. You know, some of us that didn't get drafted as high as we thought we were going to. So we're going to have a talk about that too.
Well, for me and what I do, one of the centerpieces, one of my things, has been a championship belt that I had made by my sponsors, Undisputed Belts. Now, the one I have with me, because I asked Coach G if he wanted me to have one specifically made for this event. He has his own belt. I guess it's for the winning team, and then there's an MVP award. Mine, for championship games, usually goes to, I have a custom one, a one of one made for the outstanding player of the game. So I brought mine with me. It will go home with me, but I will say this. There will be an opportunity after the game for me to have an interview with who I choose as the outstanding player of the game. So you're talking about these bragging rights and all this.
Oh,
I mean, there's always a little extra in there for you guys.
Challenge accepted.
How many events does this make this weekend for you?
This will be I'm getting close to 10. I had to take a hiatus for 2 games for me and my family relocated to the beach of North Carolina. So we had to take a little hiatus. So this is 8 for me. This is my 8th event.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is it about AFE that keeps you coming back?
Oh, man. Like I said before, I'm military-based, and then you got to – I look at our coaching staff. We got Hall of Famers. We got military personnel there. They know how to run the ship. They've been doing it long enough. I ain't got to pump them up. We know who they are. They do their thing, and it's left dress right dress, and I love that because I've been through the semi-pro world, and it's a mess, really. Yeah. So to get to something like this that's organized, we're in a great location, we're in a great facility. We have these events that we do with the community. Those all speak to me as a person and what I want people to think about me. Right? I want to be the person that is involved in the community. So that's what keeps bringing me back, and not to mention the camaraderie that you have amongst the teams. And like I told the guys the other day, getting the rookies, like, you're our legacy. Like, we want you to be better than us. Because when I step away and become a coach, I want to make sure that the next line is going to keep the same standards we put out there. So a challenge to them, but that's what keeps bringing me back, because it's just set up so much that involves you, engulfs you, that if you're not in it, you'll feel like you're not in it. I mean, you obviously know you're not in it, and it's your own choice, because we bring everybody in, and it becomes truly a family. These rookies probably feel more like a family to this team now than their home teams, just because that's what we do.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they tend to look at something's production value, and I'm like, no, if it's organized, you will have way more appreciation for that event than if you have, hoodies instead of T-shirts,
yes,
or if you have, trophy awards instead of laminated papers. Like, if it's organized and run well, you will not complain at all. Like, those little extras, such a minor thing after that. So there's so many military guys out there. Last question I have for you. Okay. Heard Coach G yelling out there a little bit today, and I got to ask, as a guy from the military, if you don't hear yelling, does it get weird for you where you're just like, okay, things are going too good right now, and then you hear Coach G yelling, and you're like, oh, that's better.
You know what? It's funny you say that. Yes and no. All right. So I'll give you yes part. Yeah, because we're out there, we expect it. Being military, like if you're not getting yelled at, or there's not somebody yelling, what's about to happen? Something's about to go down. So it is very comforting to hear it. No, because if it's directed at me, I don't want to hear it. So I'll just play it around. But yeah, that's part of the game. I mean, coaches have different coaches' style, and honestly, to get Coach G to that point shows his passion today, that he really, he's involved. I mean, he's invested. And he just wasn't getting the production he wanted from the American team. So he was a little upset, which is okay. I understand. But we're at a higher level, and he's wanting to hold everybody to that higher level across the board, American National. We all got to step up our game, because we're only here for, a couple of days of practice, and then we got to show out. So I understand the frustration from a coaching point as well as from a player. So it is, but it is a nice release. Every once in a while to hear some yelling. That crawling thing through the dirt brought back memories from the military, so we can leave that out going forward. But other than that, yeah, you need a little yelling just to make sure you feel at home.
Fair enough. Well, this weekend, the All-American Bowl, I'm actually making my play-by-play commentary debut, and
Nice.
I'm really excited to be on the call, getting to know you guys now. So, hey, good luck out there. Have fun, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.